And
with a first-time coach too, right?
well, that didn't hurt, I guess, or it could have hurt. Who knows? But when you have Maelyn on your team, like she's supposed to win the voice. Like her voice is supposed to win the voice. That's why it's called The Voice.
Wow. Well, wow. This question is for both of you. My name's Marissa Clale and I'm with The Buzz, New Music Buzz. But you guys, did you hit it off instantly because both of you have such powerful, soulful voices? Did you guys have immediate chemistry?
Yeah.
I thought we did.
Absolutely. I think that, I knew going into it how much I respected him as an artist, so I went in with very professional mindset, and he is so relaxed and easy to talk to. I think he could be friends with anybody, but I think also as far as working on music together, we were right eye to eye.
I just love her work ethic, her attention to detail, she goes into every song with an actual strategy and a plan for how to execute the song, and she has the wherewithal to be able to actually do it. And it makes it very, very easy for a coach. I can give her a few notes, but she would be good no matter who is her coach because she has that level of excellence already in her.
And you've been so busy, but have you had a second to think what is ahead, what lies ahead?
I've been trying to take this whole process one step at a time because there was so much unknown. All I know is that I am going to work very hard, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. So whatever it is, I'm ready for it, and I want to release music, and I want to tour, and I know that that's in the cards. How it's going to play out, I'm not sure, but I'm okay with that too. I'm ready to kind of go with the flow.
I just can't believe she was just singing in small bars in New York very recently. With that voice, I mean, she needs to be heard by a lot more people.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Maelyn. I'm Jessica Searles with So Delicious TV. Hi. First, congratulations.
Thank you.
Secondly, I was wondering what you would say to other people who have a similar hearing impairment as you. I find it to be very motivational and inspiring, and I was wondering what you would say to young men and women who are suffering from your challenge.
Absolutely. I grew up with very supportive parents, and I was very lucky to have that. It was never considered a disability. So I always viewed it as, okay, so I have this, and how do I work around it, or how do I use it to my advantage? So at the end of the day, it's all about your mindset and accepting it and embracing it.
Do you think it's helped you in some way?
Oddly enough, there have been times when it has helped me. And I go off of, sometimes when I can't hear myself, I go off of feeling. And there were times when I couldn't hear anything because I had never used in-ears before, and that was very difficult for me, and getting used to that and having the crowd be so loud. And so I went based off of feeling and finding my pitch based off of that. So in the end, I think it ended up being an advantage sometimes.
You're amazing, Maelyn. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Emily with Us Weekly. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I was just wondering if you spend a lot of time with John and his family, and then John, what do your kids think of the show, and do they watch it? Do they even know you're famous? All that stuff.
I have not met his family yet.
I gotta work on that. What do you think about because we gotta have a hangout session.
Yeah.
We'll have your family come over and
Camera, you all have it.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll make sure it happens. Chrissy's very excited. She had me texting her because, we're on the West Coast and we don't get to see it live on television. And she was asking me, when do they announce? When do they announce? And then I was like, Maelyn and Guy are the only ones left. And she's like, come on, this is killing me. That's our WhatsApp exchange. And finally, I was able to tell her we won. She's very excited.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Elisa with Country here. Hi, congratulations. Question for both of you. Maelyn, we'll start with you. What advantages and disadvantages did you think you had with John, considering it was his first season?
I think it was nothing but advantages for me. I know that he was fresh to it and that he'd be excited, and he absolutely was. And he has so much knowledge, and he's a storyteller, and I so connected with him before I even got on the show, and I knew that I wanted to work with him. And I think the advantages were that he knew how to pick songs for me, and he knew once he heard my voice, he knew what would work, and sometimes suggested things that I wouldn't have done, and then they ended up being moments for me. And it's because he has that knowledge. And he said I could have, done well with any coach, but the truth is, those song choices are everything. So, yeah.
And then John, how is coaching on The Voice different than you thought it would be?
Where's this voice
Right here.
Oh, there. Oh, right there. Same person. Okay. Well, there were some elements that I expected, but I didn't expect to have my heart broken so much too, because you start working with people and they're gone very quickly. Like very early in the show, you start losing people that you were excited to work with, and so I think that's probably the hardest part. And then there was a new element this year with the cross battles, and I think that threw all the coaches because no one had done it before, and that was difficult too because we put the selection process into the hands of the fans even earlier than we've normally done it, and so everyone was a little thrown off by that. So yeah, it's heartbreaking when you lose people that you invest a lot of time into, and you see how heartbreaking it is for them. It's even obviously it's worse for them than it is for us. But it's hard, to go through that process and feel the agony of, going home for so many people. And that's probably the thing I was least prepared for. I was excited about mentoring new artists. I was excited about helping them be the best versions of themselves that they could be. And I've grown up doing that because I, was a choir director from a very young age. I've been a musician and worked with other vocalists for a very long time, and so that was the easiest part. It was just fun and natural for me to do.
Hi, Russ Weekland, Hollywood Life in the Middle. John, how can we make her the second VGOT?
Well, I don't know if she wants to do all the other letters, but I definitely think she can win some Grammys. I mean, a voice like that is very special, and it's not just special for a singing competition. It's special, period. It's special for any kind of vocalist. I mean, she was up there with me. She was up there with Sarah McLachlan, and you couldn't tell one had Grammys and one didn't. It sounded like, all of us deserve to have Grammys. So if that's the case, I feel like she can hang with all of us. And now it's just about finding the right material and making great records, and then going out there and showing people what she can do. She has an extremely rare voice, and I think she touched a lot of people's hearts through this season, and she has the ability to do that again.
Hi, Anna from Access. Maelyn, you spoke about giving up on singing. What was the moment, what was the turning point for you that brought you back?
It was never gonna be giving up on singing necessarily. It was giving up on the lifestyle of New York and that kind of hustle. But I think a turning point for me was I had written a new song and went in and recorded it, and I hadn't done that in a very long time. And when you don't do something for a very long time, you forget why you loved it. And then I went in and was reminded, and so that for me was that moment. And I was like, oh, this is what I love to do, and there's a reason I'm doing this.
Hi, Jennifer from News TV.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last night when you sang Hallelujah, I can't even speak right now, it was so beautiful and so powerful.
Thank you.
I felt that cinch it. I'm like, oh, you're winning. I was just curious how you guys came to pick that song, and if you had a favorite version of it, because there's been so many wonderful renditions of it.
Well, every time, and for the last few rounds, after I knew she had advanced, I would do calls with her just to go over song ideas, and we would have the person that's in charge of going out and getting the licenses on the phone just to make sure we could actually pull it off, the request that we had. And I said, I know a lot of people have covered Hallelujah, but I feel like Maelyn is qualified to join that pantheon of artists who have sung the song. And I said, is it okay if we try to do Hallelujah? Because I've heard a billion versions of it, and I know that might be taboo to try to do something like that. but I just felt like if anybody can do it right, it's Maelyn. And whew, did she do it right? I mean, it was one of my favorite versions I've ever heard. And I told her when we were rehearsing, I said it's going to be the most streamed song of the finale. And it was #1 on the charts last night for all night and or through the morning. And so, yes, I was right about that.
As it has been.
Hi, Rick Hollywood, First Look Features. Right here, I just wanted to tell you both congratulations.
Thank
And Maelyn, so you talked about how you weren't sure if there were certain songs that you could do. Can you name one?
Certain songs that, what do you mean by that?
That he picked for you where you were like, I
Oh,
wasn't
it was
sure.
it was Stay. He
Yeah.
picked Stay for me, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And he said, no, you can do it. And you know what I love about that is that I love to accept challenges. I love to rise above my insecurities and prove to myself that I can do it. So that for me was a great moment for me as an artist, learning experience.
Back here?
Yes.
Hey, Carlo from
Hello.
E! News. This is a direct quote from Blake Shelton yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I like John, but he can kiss my ass because this is a competition. What do you have to say back to that?
Oh, man. You know, I really love Blake, and I really enjoyed getting to know him this year. He's a very arrogant bastard. I had this feeling that he was going to be the one kissing someone's ass for the show, and I was right once again.
He's waiting.
More questions?
Hi, it's Belinda from TV Music Network. I want to ask the both of you, your original song was in the top 5. Can you guys talk about selecting the song and the process of recording it?
Absolutely. So that was actually, they sent me a few songs, and this singer-songwriter, Haley Warner, had a couple songs, and it was funny because there were 5 in there, and the 2 that she sent, I was like, it's one of those, because she's just, I connect with how she writes. And with that song, I had never collaborated or written with other people. I'm a songwriter myself, and this felt like an experience for me. No one's ever been like, sing my song. So I was like, you know what, this is my time to take advantage of that. So I went for that, and I'm so glad that I did, because that song, I feel like I could have written it because it was very relevant to my relationship currently, and it sat really well in my voice, and I really felt it. And she is a cool chick, and she ended up showing up to my recording, which was so cool. She came in and she was very hands-on, and I got to record it with the guys who wrote it and originally engineered it. So it was a really awesome experience.
I just had to approve it. They sent it to me. They was like, Maelyn likes this song. Do you like it? I was like, oh yeah, she'll sound really great doing this. And she nailed it.
It's also a little different from the stuff that I had done. So it was nice to change it up.
Yeah, I think the tempo was good for her to change up, and it worked. I mean, and Guy did this too, to get an original song in the top 10 on iTunes is a challenge, because people kind of flock to things that are more familiar a lot of times, and for the original songs to do so well, I thought was a testament to their delivery of the songs, and also to Guy as a writer to get his song in the top 10. That's pretty awesome thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that have been writing for a long time that haven't had that happen to them, and so it's pretty incredible.
Last question.
Hi, John. Hi, Maelyn. I'm Chanel for the New Music Buzz. And John, I want to know, what did you learn about yourself through this whole process as a judge to better yourself as an artist, being on the other side?
Oh, that's an interesting question. As an artist, I think it helps you think about song selection. I mean, that's something that that's what we do for a living, but I think this gives you another perspective when you think about song selection and writing and collaborating with other writers, and just thinking about the kinds of songs that really have impact with people. I think it helps you kind of put that in perspective, and you see it from a lot of different approaches and different genres that may not be in your normal wheelhouse. So I think it's a instructive experience in that way.
Thanks, everyone, and congrats
you.
again, Maelyn.
Thank you, everybody.